800 people to pick all the grapes manually. It is compulsory here in Champagne. It allows us to select the best grapes, but also to not damage them, because we use mainly grapes with a dark skin, but a white juice. And we don't want any maceration between the skin and the juice to have the good colors and the good flavors. Once we have picked all the grapes, we press them all separately. The grape varieties are not mixed, the villages, so the cru are not mixed, and the plots neither. We obtain a juice, and this juice is transferred into stainless steel vats, so that can begin the first fermentation. And for that, the yeast consumes the sugar in the juice. This sugar is transformed into alcohol and carbonic dioxide. This last one escapes because the vats are still partially opened during those 10 days of fermentation. And after those 10 days of fermentation, we close entirely the vats, so that the still wine that we obtained will stay in those vats for the whole winter. And a still wine is a wine without bubbles. And during spring, our cellars master starts the blending. So he blends different grape varieties, different cru, from different years if he wants a non-vintage champagne, but from the same year if he wants a vintage one. We obtain for the moment a clear wine that we put in a bottle like this one. And so you can see that this bottle is a bit particular. You can see the shape of this bottle. I think it reminds you something. So this is the shape that we use for our Comte de Champagne. You can see the shoulders just here. We add as well a liqueur of tirage, and this liqueur is made of yeast and sugar. We close the bottle with a metallic cap, like this one, that you can see here. Then the bottle is placed horizontally in our cellar, like all those bottles, and all those bottles are Comte de Champagne. And then we need to obtain a sparkling wine. So what can happen for that?
Pressure.
We need to use the pressure, yes. So we have, again, the yeast consumes the sugar. Again, the sugar is transformed into alcohol and carbonic dioxide. So we have the second fermentation, but in the bottle this time. And the bottle is sealed, so the carbonic dioxide can't escape. At the end of the 2 months of fermentation, we will obtain 6 bars of pressure inside the bottle, so we have what we call la champagnisation. We have a champagne. We obtain as well what you can see just here on this side of the bottle, those sediments. Those sediments are sediments of the yeast, and they will give a complexity to the flavors of the champagne while this one will be aging. That's why they are really important. It is at least 15 months of aging for a non-vintage champagne, 36 months for a vintage one, and for Taittinger, we prefer to keep them longer to have even more richness in the flavors. It is 3 years of aging for our Brut Reserve, 3 years as well for our Prestige Rosé, and for our Comte de Champagne, ladies and gentlemen. Those bottles will stay in this position for 10 years. So 10 years of aging. And once the aging is over, our cellar's worker can move the bottles. He put them on a rack like those ones that you can see just behind you. And his aim is to guide those sediments until the extremity of the neck of the bottle to get rid of them after that. So he starts what we call the riddling. He turns the bottles from an eighth to a quarter, to the left or to the right, 2 or 3 times a week during 8 weeks. At the end of those 8 weeks, the bottle will be placed this way, and the sediments will have reached the extremity of the neck. And this extremity is plunged in a bath at minus 17 degrees, so that a block of ice is formed around those sediments, so the yeast will be well separated from the champagne. Then the bottle is placed upright it is opened. Boom. The block of ice is expelled by the pressure at around 40 kilometers. So that's quite, yes, and quite dangerous as well. So we don't show it to the visitors. And so once the disgorgement is over, we have to add a liquor of dosage that is made of reserve wines and cane sugar. And thanks to this liquor, we obtain a champagne brut, a champagne sec, or a champagne, what comes after? Demi-sec, exactly. 9 grams of sugar per liter for our champagne brut, 17.5 for our champagne sec, demi-sec, and 36 for our champagne demi-sec. So this liquor has an effect on the sweetness of the champagne. Once this is over, our cellars worker can close the bottles, we cork it, and the bottle will be, after that, labeled, it will be cleaned, and it will have to rest again for 6 months, so that the liquor dosage has an effect on the champagne. And then, after this long process, the bottle will be commercialized. And you will have, maybe, if you wish, your glasses of champagne. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a lot of information. So do you have any questions on this long process?
Is the disgorgement done by hand?
No, it is done mechanically. Because it has to be done quickly, to not lose too much pressure. So it is done mechanically. In a few seconds. Do you have any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Have I been perfect in my explanation? Do you have any compliments? No, ladies and gentlemen. I propose you to continue our visit, and so I will show you other remains.